The pile of cars that needs to be cleaned keeps growing and growing, and I don't want to do that. I want to go over here to this pile of new stuff to check out, and we're going to take a look at the FlySky FS-G7P radio system today. How's it going, everyone? I'm Greg with RC Driver, and I haven't had too many FlySky radios here on the channel before and got one in. Figure we should check it out together. It's got some pretty neat features. 7-channel operation, 20 model memory, and it even has telemetry. So let's crack open this box and see what else it could do. So before we crack this open, just wanted to show off the sticker on the top of the box. This one has the sponge steering wheel. I believe they had just a plastic steering wheel before, so it's already better. Definitely like a sponge steering wheel. Here is a few of the specifications. Good for car and boat. Again, 7 channels, 2.4 gigahertz, of course. Is compatible with AA's or 2S LiPo, so that looks pretty good as well. All right, not a super fancy box, but you know what? It's just gonna get tossed anyway. Here is the radio system. They've got a small instruction manual. Let's see what we have in this box here. Guessing this is gonna be the receiver. Yep, there it is. It's an FS-G7P receiver, and there are our telemetry ports, it looks like. Actually, no, 7 channels, so it must work in conjunction with the telemetry. And now let's check out the radio system. There it is. I really like the grip on this. It's kind of a fake carbon fiber. It's all part of the plastic handle. Even up top here, it's got some of that texture as well. So that looks really cool. The feel of it, pretty decent for my meat mitts. The trigger feels pretty good. Kind of a soft spring in there, which I like. Good range, and the steering wheel actually feels pretty decent as well for a budget radio such as this. Now, I looked this up online and I saw all different types of prices for it, anywhere from like $30 on eBay all the way up to $100 on Amazon. So that's a pretty big gap. I don't know the exact price of it. Either way, if it's under $100, so far it's looking pretty good. I like the jog button on top here. Look at all the trim switches I mentioned before. We've got one here by our thumb, a multi-position switch here, looks like a toggle switch here, push button switch here. I believe this was a 5-position switch up top. We've got some trim dials, so that looks really good. Look at that, they even went and put the RC Driver name on it for me. That's really nice, I appreciate that. Here's our on-off switch. And there's the startup, FlySky. Not set to failsafe, need to set. No, let's try no. All right, the display opening screen looks pretty good. I'm just gonna start toggling through things. Looks like we select our models here. Look at that, this thing's got a lot of functionality to it, whoa. So there is some sort of beginner mode, probably just gives you the basic functions, but we're here for the functionality. There is all of our different auxiliary channels that we could set. Mixing, that's really cool for those of you that may have like maybe a 4-wheel steer truck. We've got some timer lap assist, that's pretty cool. Switch assignment for all the different knobs and buttons. You can set your different receiver values, fail-safe, bind set, even a range test sensor, that's cool. Here is your model setup, and we even have a system setup and calibration, and then we're back around to all of the different basic functions. And like I said before, it's got a good feel to it, and that's part of it. You don't want driver fatigue when you're out bashing or even racing, but it's time to go out and just really test this thing out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw it into my Corrali XTR over there, go out wheeling with it, and just give you an idea of how it is to set up and wheel a car with. All right, guys, I just want to give you a quick impression of the radio system. So far, setting it up has been pretty easy. The only tricky part is just getting used to how you have to toggle the button here to get through the screens, setting whatever you need to set, and then backing back out. But other than that, this thing is good to go. We're going to test it out in the XTR, as I mentioned, and I'm just going to get a feel for it. And as a side note, I love driving this truck. It is a blast. If you want to see more on this truck, make sure you hit that subscribe button. This thing has a good feel to it. I set my endpoints and we're good. Nice smooth feel to it. Nice comfortable radio system. You know what? Let me just make a little dual rate change here. I could actually use a little less. Let me see. Nope. See, that's the part that is a little tricky. Press down. That's what it is. And we'll just dial it down 10%. There we go, and hit back again. There, I'm at the main screen. Actually, back one more time. There we go, now I'm at the main screen. Pretty easy to get through. There we go, I can feel the change. Nice. All right, guys, let's head back to the studio really quick. So I couldn't just let you guys go. I've got a couple more things to talk to you about. One of them being you can update the firmware on this. There is a little port in the back, so you go plug it in with some type of USB wire. I think that's a mini USB, and update the radio system. And when you're looking at radios, computer radios, it's always good that you're able to update the firmware. So I do like that. There is a little phone jack. There's a little loop in the back for a tether as well. Forgot to mention that before, so there's some more features for you. I found the radio system comfortable to hold, use, very responsive, so it works well in that respect. The issues that I have with it is like this little instruction manual here. This is just real basic stuff. It doesn't go into great detail about all the functionality and how to operate everything. So although it says it has some sort of beginner menu, you know, I wouldn't really recommend this for a beginner. I would recommend it for somebody that knows a lot of the features of a radio system, and someone with experience I think will be able to navigate through this thing. I was able to navigate through it. It takes a little time to get used to the jog button and everything like that, and I was able to actually get it set up in my AT4 here that has been sitting without a radio system because it needed a 5-channel radio actually, and this wound up being a perfect option for it because it's really easy to operate the little thumb switches and everything. So it can be a really useful radio, and like I said before, I think it's good for the price of it. Depending on where you buy it, it seems like you get it for a pretty good deal. One final thing here is I found this little wire inside the box, and this is actually a voltage telemetry wire, so you could go and monitor like an external battery if you're powering lights or something like that. This works with FlySky's AMP protocol system that's in the radio, which basically is like telemetry, so you could actually add on other sensors if you want to, such as a temp sensor or even a GPS sensor. Customer service, it might just depend on your area. Unfortunately in the US, I don't believe they have a customer service center, so that's something else to take into account with this radio system. But so far, I like what I'm seeing. I'm gonna continue to learn how to use it, and it'll be in this truck. Maybe you'll see another appearance with this thing.